Be obsessed or be average. The immortal words of motivational speaker and businessman Grant Cardone. We look around our offices and town centres and see a whole bunch of people who are just fine with being average. They all have average jobs, average homes, average mates, average investment portfolios, meaning they don't have an investment portfolio, and average outlooks on life.
Average people with average outlooks in life don't even think about investing, and as a result, their life trajectory looks like this.
You are born, you go to school, a bit more school, you graduate, you get a job, you stay in a job, you stay in a job, maybe you get a different job, you stay in a job, you stay there until you're old, you retire with a crappy pension, hopefully loved, but deserving better, until you die.
Investors by default are people who are not satisfied with a bog standard life plan. It's why there are so few of us. People committed to investing from a young age might expect their life to look a little like this.
You are born, you go to school, a bit more school, you graduate, you get a job to buy a rental property, you have 2 income streams, you build a stocks portfolio, you have 3 income streams, you decide to speed things up a little by starting a small business in the evenings, you have 4 income streams, you no longer need the job but think, hey, I'm 30, I could give it a couple more years and use the cash to buy a few more assets. You quit employment young, you've still got 3 income streams, you build your business and your investment portfolio bigger, you spend the next 40 years doing whatever the hell you want, you reach state retirement age without even realising, and keep doing whatever you want, financed by dividends, rental income, interest and pensions until you die.
Grant says, be obsessed or be average. Our obsession is investing, because people who don't invest stay average. Let's check it out.
Welcome to MoneyUnshackled.com, the investing channel and website that sets you and your finances free. This is Andy, I'm Ben, and if you like what we say, hit the like button and click subscribe.
Get a kickstart to your investment portfolio with sign-up bonuses for numerous shares platforms, peer-to-peer lending platforms, mortgage broker cashback, and we can even get you cashback on your household bills. Now let's get into the video.
The slave wage route to average. You only live once. Why are you spending your time going to a job you hate 5 days out of every 7? The answer, of course, is that you are enslaved by money. You are raised in a school system that teaches you that money comes only from a safe, secure job, which you must get and hold on to at any cost.
You really don't have to. We both get money from what we half-jokingly call a slave wage. In fact, we spent our 20s working jobs we hated for the once-a-month reward of a relatively small bit of cash in the bank. Small relative to the cost that we had to put in, which was thousands of hours of precious life. Hashtag YOLO.
We call it a slave wage because if you're not an investor and you have to work a job, you don't have any choice but to be there. You have to make money or you'll be sleeping on the streets. And if it's not doing one job, it's doing another just like it. You have to show up every day or you get cut off from that life supporting wage. Same thing if you refuse to do anything that is asked of you by a superior.
We know it's nowhere near the same league as the horror of real slavery, but being a slave to the wage is still a bad thing for both mental and physical health if you don't like what you're being forced to do in order to keep bread on the table.
Average mates, average prospects. The people you surround yourself with will either be mostly average or mostly winners. The winners that we know all invest, whether holiday lets, shares, rental portfolios, businesses, or even if they're just learning the basics while putting a few quid into free trading shares platforms. The point is that even these people will one day have huge investment portfolios because they are learning by doing now while they are relatively cash poor.
Meanwhile, we know hundreds of average people who just tick by in life and intend to retire at the state-dictated retirement age or even be forced to work beyond it. There's a saying that you are the average of your 5 closest friends. Look at yours. Are they average? You gotta either educate them to start investing or you gotta find like-minded friends.
The selfishness of being average. Who exactly are you helping while you're locked in a job all week, barely making enough money to support your lifestyle?
We look around at the winners of this world. Business leaders, politicians, pro footballers, entrepreneurs, published authors, inventors. The rich ones have big investment portfolios which pay them incomes perpetually, keeping them rich so they can give back to society.
They pay huge tax bills which support the country they live in. They run community projects in village halls and parks because they have the time and the freedom to fix the problems they saw in the places they grew up in. They've learnt skills over their lifetime of being awesome that they can pass on to the next generation.
At a much bigger scale, look at Bill Gates. He is donating billions and billions of dollars to eradicate diseases around the world. Contrast with an average person who doesn't take the risk of starting an investment portfolio, who has to rely on a single income stream, a job, for their entire lives. Who are they helping?
The investing route to awesomeness. We look forward at our 30s and think, yeah, the next decade looks pretty awesome. We've invested diligently into our portfolios over the last few years to the point where the investment returns we are reinvesting are equivalents to small salaries in themselves.
More importantly, we've also invested our time into our businesses outside of work, including Unshackled.com, which now helps to educate thousands of people in the UK and abroad on how to invest and why it's so important.
We are not special. We know loads of people on YouTube who follow us and out there in the real world who have invested their money into cash creating assets or their time into cash creating businesses or both. If you have some money but no time, buy assets. If all you have is time and no money, invest your time into building more income streams at home. If you have both money and time, you have no excuses.
How to beat average, 10x everything. Going back to this guy, his most famous line is telling us all to 10x this and 10x that. Cutting through the guru babble, this just means divert some extra time and effort outside of the day job into making a success of your life instead of watching TV and going down the pub. But 10x fits more neatly into a hashtag.
10x is the cure to avoid being average and to build an investment portfolio that pays you a sweet passive income. 1. Take the time in the evenings to educate yourself on investing, and 2. Build other income streams from side hustles or small businesses that you add to your investments and make them grow faster. Grant Cardone is a hero who motivates his followers to push further, invest harder, and build their businesses better. He is on the top books page of Unshackled.com along with a whole bunch of other legends who inspire us.
OPM, other people's money. Another hero of ours, Robert Kiyosaki, a rich dad fame, talks about using other people's money to buy assets with. He calls it OPM, I guess so it sounds like an addictive drug. We're big fans of using OPM, i.e. debt, to buy our investments with. It sure beats using our own hard-earned cash. Buying a load of rental properties, for instance, would be almost impossible without using debt, i.e. mortgages.
Interest rates have been low now for over a decade. The USA and Europe have just cut rates further, and there's talks of further cuts to come in the UK too. We think most can afford to use good debt tactically, if they also do so sensibly. A world economy has been built on debt with rates so low that we can't see a way for it to rise significantly in the next decade without destroying prosperity on a global level. It's just not going to happen anytime soon.
Debt is not to be ignored. If you're going to invest time or money and beat average, then a zero tolerance to debt is likely to set you back. You can definitely build a stocks and shares portfolio without touching debt, but property is a different matter entirely.
If you can buy a couple of cash flowing rental properties eventually, on top of your stocks portfolio, you really will be within touching distance of financial freedom. And you can't really do that without debt.
Barney, there's no need to feel downtrodden about working a job for the next 50 years that you hate. We leave you with a quote from possibly the wisest investor that we know, Barney Stinson. True story.
Question of the day: how do you beat average? Tell us your success stories in the comments below.
Thanks for watching! On this channel we talk about personal finance, investing and all things money. And if you want to see more great content, please click the subscribe button below.
This is Unshackled.com. See you next time.